Hi, I'm standing here on the former golf course site, which many people know has now had planning permission for about 500 houses to be built on this site. Initially the council said there was only going to be roughly about 1,000 houses coming to Standish. Now we're already at 1,850 houses being built for Standish, and we're getting closer to the 2,000 houses coming to Standish in total. Many people are asking why we're having so many houses being built in Standish and what's going on here. And it's because the developers are playing a very strategic move. For example, this site here has had 500 houses built onto it. 500 houses for planning permission to be built on it. But because they've not built a single house yet, that means the council's plan of delivering houses in Standish has not happened. So effectively, Standish should have about 250 houses built every year over the next 5 years. Because that's not happened, because the developers haven't built one house on the areas that they said the 1,000 houses would go, they then can continue to put new applications in and say, well, we want to put this application in because you might have planning applications in and pass for a number of houses, but none are being built. So therefore, allow us to build these houses, pass this application, and then that will get you more houses built. Well, actually, it's the developers that are not building the houses, because even though we didn't want the houses, the developers know by not building, they can continue to keep putting more and more applications in. And the council seem, or they say, the powerless to stop this. I think the core strategy, what the Labour Council has done, is weak, and I think that's quite easily demonstrated by the fact that so easily these developers are winning on the government's planning inspectors. Just has no disregard for it whatsoever. And the only conclusion one can have from that is basically because it's so weak and so thin and nimble. And we should have had an expert doing that document for us. And I said that at the time as well. So what we need to do is we need to be saying to this Conservative government's planning inspector that if for all these housing applications that are coming in from the developers, it's the developers that are holding this process up, and it's them playing the system to get more and more out of Standish. And it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous, that we've now got into this position where houses have been passed that we didn't want, but because the developers aren't building up, then they can then turn around and say, because no houses are being built, we can therefore put more and more applications in and keep getting. I think by the time we get to May of this year, or also the summer, we'll have over 2,000 houses passed to be built in Standish. So it's absolutely ridiculous. There is no infrastructure being put in, no new roads, no bypass, there's nothing coming. And it's just the developers winning and taking. And I think it's about time that local government, i.e. Wigan Council, and national government, the Conservatives, listen more to communities like Standish to say, this is what we want, this is what we need. And just rather than just bulldozing the way through, literally bulldozing the way through, because all this area behind me, which is lovely for a walk, you may have just seen somebody walk past, taking the dog for a walk or whatever. People go for a walk, exercise the dogs, it's all going to be lost, because we're not retaining any kind of open land, because the developers keep using this rule to get more and more developers passed. So this is a problem why we're getting so many applications still in, even though we're past this 1,000 houses that the council said that it would stop at. I'm fighting, the other Standish Independent councillors are fighting this, and we need the council to be fighting this too, and taking it to Westminster and saying, stop these developers using this rule because it's wrong. Alright, thanks very much.